platform lecture series of Ansal University. It is a very unique initiative that we take and call upon industry stalwarts, well-known personalities and celebrities to our campus to interact with the students and motivate them. Today we have amongst us youth icon Mr. Chetan Bhagat, the very popular writer, columnist, screenwriter, television personality and motivational speaker all rolled into one amongst us here today. I will call upon my students to please welcome our guest Mr. Chetan Bhagat. And request Vidya to welcome our trustee Ms. Chetan Ansal. Thank you. Now I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Raj S. Dhankar, to deliver the welcome address. Professor Dhankar has about 4 decades of experience in teaching, research, training and consultancy in the area of finance. He is an academician par excellence and is adept in donning many hats in this area. A true administrator who leads by example, he has held several positions of responsibility during his long and illustrious career. He is a thought leader and has been honored with several awards, including Haryana Ratan, in recognition of his contribution to the welfare of society and institution building. I welcome you, sir.
Chetan Bhagat, Madam Chetan Ansal, Deans of the faculty members, dear students. I on my own behalf and behalf of the whole Ansal University family welcome Sri Chetan Bhagat on its maiden visit to our small but we call it a wonderful campus because we are very close to nature. At the same time, we are in the middle of this millennium city of Gurgaon. Given his background and the PLS lecture series that we have been having at our campus, I believe that in the annals of Ansal University, this is a rare occasion that you could find time to speak to our students and faculty. I must also thank Madam Chetan Ansal for persuading him and inviting him to come to our campus to address our students and faculty. Chetan Bhagat does not need any introduction. However, as it's customary on our campus, therefore I'll perform my duty to talk about his works, his background, his achievements very briefly. Chetan Bhagat, as we all know, is the author of hugely popular 6 books. These includes 5 novels, namely 5 Point Someone. The first one came in 2004, and during the last decade, roughly every 2 years rather, he has been coming up with the new novels. Then came his second novel titled One Night at the Call Center in 2005. The third came titled The 3 Mistakes of My Life in 2008. The fourth titled 2 States in 2009. And then came Revolution 2020 in 2011. And lastly, the non-fiction title What Young India Wants in 2012. And also, the last one is what he called as Half Girlfriend in 2014. Chetan's books have remained literally bestsellers since their release. I don't know, and we haven't read and known any other author who have written with such a sort of speed and with such great popularity as Chetan has done. 4 out of his 5 novels have been already adapted into successful Bollywood films, and the others are in the process of being adapted as well. Quite an achievement. The New York Times called him the biggest selling English language novelist in India's history. Time magazine named him amongst the 100 most influential people in the world. And Fast Company USA listed him as one of the world's 100 most creative people in business. Chetan's writes columns for leading English and Hindi newspapers, focusing on youth and national development issues. He's also a motivational speaker and screenplay writer. On a personal note, giving his little background, Chetan quit his international investment banking career, which is rare, in 2009 to devote his entire time in writing and make change happen in the country. With this, I feel it is a loss to the corporate world, because a person with his background, being an IITian first and then doing MBA from one of the elite management school, and at the top of it is IIM Ahmedabad. And then after a while he finds his passion. And to me, I think it's great gain of the literary world, but at the same time is a huge, huge loss of the corporate world as well. Because had he stayed in investment banking, I think he would have done equally well, because in corporate world also, these are the creative people who makes at the top. I also believe that given his background and his achievements, he's an ideal model for young generation. And by now you must have gotten an idea as to what his background is and how young students in universities and colleges could sort of see as to which way they should also be following in the times to come. Because he left management education, he left the corporate world, followed his passion, is still entrepreneurial. Because look at his writings, look at the money he makes all over the world. The other day, I think someone mentioned that every minute, one or the other of his books gets sold in the world. So, to me, that is truly entrepreneurial. So, what best you can ask for in life? You have your life partner who studied with you. You followed your passion. You went on to do what you like the most, closer to your heart, that's writing. And at the age of 40, 42, you are a world celebrity and making money as much as you like in the rest of your life as well. So I don't think any of us sitting in the hall, doesn't matter what PhD you have earned from anywhere, you couldn't have gotten to such heights. So I think we at Ansals feel really privileged in having you with us today, and we look forward listening to your wonderful thoughts. Thank you, Chetan. Welcome again.
Thank you, sir. And the moment has come which we've all been very excitedly waiting for. I just wanted to add a few points, perhaps, which maybe you guys don't know. He's a true Delhiite, having studied from Army Public School. He did his mechanical engineering from IIT Delhi and went on to do his master's from IIM Ahmedabad, where he was awarded the Best Outgoing Student Award when he left. He has also won several awards for his scholastic gems that he's produced, And I'll end up, before I invite him, with one of the quotes which I very personally follow. Be so busy in improving yourself that you have no time to criticize others. And it is my proud privilege to present to you Mr. Chetan Bhagat.
Hi. Hi. No class right now? चलो कुछ तो फायदा हुआ मेरे आने का. Everybody is looking very relaxed, chilled out. So, thank you sir for your kind words. When you say all those nice things, I feel पता नहीं किसकी बात हो रही है. I do feel that way sometimes. But so obviously you guys are obviously doing quite well in life. ऐसा कोई, I don't think there's anything to worry about. But it's always nice to discuss success. I think that's what. How many of you want to be successful? See, apart from the front row, everybody raises hands. People on the front row are already successful. एक बार सोफा मिल गया, अब क्या प्रॉब्लम? But for those who have not got the sofa yet, or who are sitting on the floor, or standing, like me also, we are going to talk about success today. Okay, and of course I'll talk for a certain time, but I want to have Q&A and I'll interact with you. So I need some audience mics. So, but it's better if two people have two mics than one person two mics. So get another volunteer. So go, yeah, you can. So first thing, before we talk about success, actually first thing, thank you for having me here. What is success? So I'm not going to answer this. You guys all raised your hand pretty much on what you want to be successful. So success, सफलता, क्या है? What is success? बताओ कोई. Anybody? Answer me. What is success? You want it, तो बताओ तो सही है क्या?
Be like Chetan Bhagat.
Be like Chetan Bhagat. That's hardly. हाँ, okay.
My name is Bhavya, and according to me, success means getting higher and higher opportunities is called success.
Okay, getting higher and higher opportunities. Okay, anybody else?
My name is Samur, and according to me, success is like a good career, money, and after all, it's sofa.
Good career, money, and sofas. And sofa. Okay. Okay, that's honest at least. And the other seats are also pretty comfortable actually. If you think about it, they are reclining and all that. Okay. What else?
Hello, my name is Atire, and success is basically when you achieve all of your life aims and goals. That's success.
All of your life aims and goals. All. Okay, fine. Sit. Anybody else? What is
Success,
it?
according to me, is when your role model becomes your competitor.
When your role model becomes a competitor. Okay.
My name is Saloni Narang, and according to me, success is satisfying yourself. When you're fully satisfied yourself that I have achieved so much, so things.
When you are satisfied yourself. Okay. Let's take one or two more.
Sir, my name is Adarsh Ankit, and according to me, success is to achieving goal in any way, sir.
Okay. Okay. Goals. Yes, that girl at the back.
I'm Kansha, and I'm so happy that I got the chance to talk with you.
Okay. Hi.
And success is different for everybody, but for me, success is a perfect balance.
Perfect
and
balance.
Being happy and realizing that we are spiritual beings from a human experience. So it's all about the journey.
Okay. So being happy, all about journey, spiritual stuff is success. The sofa वालों को snacks भी मिल रहे हैं. That is true success. Now they're gonna give me also on stage. You wait and see. That's all. But okay, we'll stop here. Okay, you wanted to say this girl. No, you can say the last one. It's fine.
So for me, success is when you enjoy what you have done.
Okay, when you enjoy what you've done. Okay. So as somebody said, it's different things. जितने लोगों से पूछो उतनी सलाह आ रही है. जितने everybody wanted it, and there is some commonalities about goals and everything. I know. Thank you so much. So different things for different people. And wherever I go, I ask this question. It comes down to these things, you know. One is, of course, somebody did say honestly, sometimes people don't say it, but it's honest. It is having money, having the world's respect, being happy, being famous, reaching your goals, feeling accomplished, satisfaction. You saw these are the words people kind of gave out over here. And it is all very different. It's very different to say you are spiritually happy and satisfied. It's very different to say I want money. So how can it be that it's so different and yet everybody seems to want it, right? So I need to work with some definition of success, something for the purpose of this talk, right? So to illustrate that, what is success and understand success, because it's important to understand success first before, you know, you saying how I want to be successful or whatever. So you see this picture, you know the guy on the left, who is it? Arey wah. What was his last movie? उससे पहले कौन सी थी? दिलवाले से। बदलापुर से पहले कौन सी थी? और उससे पहले कौन सी थी? वाइस चांसलर सर, अगर ये चीजें कोर्स में आ जाए, how they know his movies backwards? How they know? How they find out? There is no class that happens. There is no textbook, but they know. They know him, they know his movies backwards. Very interesting. Something to think about. Why the course के बारे में अगर ऐसे सवाल पूछे जाए, last chapter कौन सा पढ़ा था, उससे कौन सा हुआ? I don't know what reason, but I know Varun Dhawan. Is he successful? Yeah. Very simple. Everything is not a trick question. There are no trick questions today. Okay? क्या ऐसे क्यों पूछ रहे हैं? ज़रूर कुछ टेढ़ा होगा. Is it successful? He's successful. He's making crores. He's famous. He's doing movies, he's got fans, girls are crazy after him, etc. He's a very successful guy, right? So this is exhibit A. He's successful. Now this girl, I'm going to talk to you about this girl. Let's say there's this girl is an anonymous girl in some village in Haryana maybe. And she was growing up, and after class 10, her parents said कि अब तू शादी कर ले. यहाँ पे यही होता है, तुम ये करो. And then she said, no, I want to study, I want to do this. So she finished 12th. And then she said, no, now do you have to get married, abhi finish. She said, no, I have a dream, I'll do media studies. She joins undergraduate, does media studies, and then gets a job in the small local TV channel, local one. And she's a reporter there, one of the many reporters. Is the girl successful? Yes? Yes. Varun and girl, who is more successful? Okay, so majority or super majority or super majority is saying girl. Yeah? Why do you think people, not just you, said girl is more successful? I want to know. Raise your hand. Those who have a view. Yeah.
So because of the hardships she faced, basically.
Because of the hardships she faced, okay. What else? She achieved what she wanted. But Varun is also doing same. I mean, he's also, this is what he wants to be. I'm sure he didn't really dream of joining IIT. बोलो why? क्यों बोला लोगों ने लड़की ज़्यादा successful है यार? बोला है आप लोगों ने हाँ बोला, बताओ, explain करो मुझे. Okay, yeah.
He had a challenge in front of her which she overcame.
But even he?
But still, he had a support from, his father.
Okay.
So that way we can...
He has support from father. Okay.
He dominated the male chauvinist.
Okay, so that's what success is about now. Okay. What else? Why? I mean, Varun also works hard. He goes to the gym 2 hours a day, I'm sure. He's on a diet, and it's no guarantee. He has to act well, learn dancing. All those songs, Besharmi Ki Hide, I mean, classics, Why? क्यों बोला लोगों ने लड़की ज़्यादा successful है? Yeah.
So Varun's success may be an individual success, but I think that girl has given opportunity to many more girls of that village to go ahead on the same path.
Okay. What else? Somebody very confidently said, of course Varun. किसने बोला था of course Varun? हाँ. Just so that we are more balanced, So you can see 99% लोगों ने तो कहा है कि वो, पर आपको क्यों लगा of course Varun?
Of course, Varun seems to be a more successful because if we compare that girl, even she is successful in any ways, we can say that. But look at Varun. Everyone knows Varun, and he has a nice car, nice home, everything, every privilege in the world he can afford easily. So basically, success is like this. Even we say that, for example, if we need help, any help, we do not go to that lady to ask any help, right? We will go to Varun. And also,
whether he'll help you or not is another story. But I got it. Okay, sit. Anybody else? Do you agree with him? No? Okay, why is the girl more successful? Let's have 2-3 more. Start looking at success like you never have. And then you start thinking it's not that simple. Yeah. Yes, the guy over there. Yeah.
In general terms.
In general terms. Are you a professor?
Dhawan had backup to an extent. His father, his entire family. She didn't have anything of it. She had either it was success on one point, or she was back to where she was initially.
Okay.
So therefore, her case seems to be a bit more comprehensive.
Answer. Okay. But okay, we'll do 1 or 2 more maximum. Why is the girl more successful?
Both can be successful or both cannot be because it is the individual.
हाँ नहीं I know, वो तो आपने तो कह दिया सारा ज़मान दुनिया एक है, तो ठीक है. We are talking like you have to choose a side. I know सब समान है, सब एक है, हम सब एक, वो सब अलग बात है. हम सब spiritual हैं. We are talking about this.
We have our particular criteria for success. It differs with individual, right? So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So if the girl is fulfilling those criteria, and if Varun is fulfilling those criteria.
ये होता है ना एकदम ग्लोबल क्लास पार्टिसिपेशन. कभी इट साउंड्स रियली लाइक कि पता नहीं क्या कह दिया, वो क्या जवाब दो इसका. वेरी गुड, करेक्ट. यस मैम.
Girl is more successful. I can take an example. Suppose you have 1 lakh in your account and the other have 1 lakh.
Quiet because people don't have. Yeah.
If a person makes his account from 1 lakh to 1 lakh 25,000 and the one person makes 1 rupees 100, the proportion will be more in the girl's account. That's why girls is more successful as compared to girls.
Okay. I think we have several views here, so we don't have to do more. But note a couple of things. If I came to this talk and told you I can make you more successful than a Bollywood superstar, you would say तो पागल हो गया, कुछ भी बोलता है. But now you saw the entire audience, not me, the entire audience, almost like 99.9% felt that the girl's more successful. So you yourself can be more successful than a superstar, right? Which is why I called the talk what I did. So that's important to realize that the world measures you differently. It's not measuring you the same way as other. You can create your own journey. And I think the reason why people say the girl's more successful is this. In India, in Hindi, we have this word which only is there. I don't have the perfect word for it in English because it doesn't exist. We use it in India a lot more, that word. And that word is औकात. कहते हैं ना औकात में रह. कहते हो कि नहीं रहते? ये लड़की तुझसे पटेगी, औकात में रहते हो. For example of usage. You can use it in many ways. I heard that a lot actually in my life. So success is exceeding औकात. I'm just trying to be very simple. This girl, इसकी औकात नहीं थी जो उसने करके दिखाया, right? उसको गांव में रह के शादी करनी थी, वही उसकी औकात थी. वरुण धवन ने भी मेहनत की. वरुण धवन अभी भी मेहनत करता है. एंड हर स्टार का बच्चा या हर फिल्मी फैमिली का बच्चा स्टार नहीं बनता है. कई बनने की कोशिश करते रहते हैं, वो नहीं बन पाते. ये वो बन गया है, मतलब उसमें कुछ है. There are many who can't, right? I mean, no, Harman Baweja is from a film family, for example. right? Yeah, I mean, he still is around, but I'm saying, like, there are people who completely get wiped off, right? वो भी तो बेचारे जी रहे होंगे ना कहीं पे, हाँ? You don't think of them, but so I'm saying so Varun has accomplished something, right? But जो उसने अचीव किया, it was expected in his औकात कि बेटा बड़ा होके क्या बनेगा, या फिल्म स्टार बनेगा, डायरेक्टर बनेगा, कुछ बनेगा, प्रोड्यूसर वगैरह बनेगा, नहीं बन पाया तो फिर गड़बड़ हो गई. But that was the औकात he had. The girl's औकात was to get married. But when you jump your औकात, then people consider you very successful. Then people think, अरे यार, she's even more successful than Varun Dhawan. Because कहाँ से आई है, क्या थी है, right? और ये, like I said, there is no English word. I mean, you can say status, position. It's not, वो feel नहीं है औकात वाला, right? Because it's not there. And in India, we are reminded of our औकात at all time. People brand new your औकात. आपके कितने marks हैं उसकी आपकी औकात, कितने, what kind of a house you come from, what city you come from, brands your औकात. And I also was like that. I also came from a place where the औकात wasn't that great. And maybe that is why people consider me more of a success today. Because my original औकात was this. I had a very middle class kind of background and a very middle class marks also. I had 76% in class 10, which I don't think is considered that great these days. It was not considered that great even those days. And a very interesting thing happened. I was like, I think 15 or 16 when I must have done class 10. And I got 76%. And everybody around me said कि ठीक है, एवरेज लड़का है, कर लेगा, कुछ कर लेगा लाइफ में, एक जॉब वॉब, he'll do a job somewhere here there. And that's why औकात. It was decided, ये इतना ही जाएगा अभी. In my head also for a few days I felt ठीक है यार, ठीक है, it's fine. I'm 15, 16, this is my marks, this will be my place in life. I didn't think कि success or anything then. I was like, my success will be just staying this little bit. In fact, I remember at that time there was this new hot thing in India called STD booths. People on the sofa know it. They're older. You guys have not even known STD booths. It may find it difficult to believe, but even if you had to call Delhi, you have to go to an STD booth. And after 10 o'clock at night, it was cheaper. And there was a line. And after midnight, even cheaper. Now you can WhatsApp call anywhere in the world at any time, but it wasn't there. STD booths was the hottest thing. And especially when you're like, I was in the people who are outside their hometown and all, they had to go, it was a ritual that people go to STD booths at night. And I thought I'll have an STD booth. It's the best business. I will have an STD booth. The best है, इसमें लोग आएंगे, फोन करेंगे, पैसे रख के जाएंगे. And जब नहीं आएंगे तो हम लड़कियों को फोन करेंगे. So life is good. And I thought if I'd become very, very successful, then I'd have 2 or 4 STD booths. And then I would have made it. I would have my bike and I'd go from one to the next and ठीक है ना साहब, ठीक है. And that was my औकात. And people said, when I shared this plan, my grand vision with my khandan, they said, ठीक लग रहा है. कर ले try. Of course, today STD booths don't exist. तो पता नहीं मेरा क्या होता. Maybe Airtel prepaid vouchers I'd be selling or something. But that's what it was. And then I one day came to my room and realized, अरे यार ये तो decide हो गया मेरा. I'm 15, 16 years old and the rest of my life is decided. People have said he's not a topper, he's not this, he will not do so much in life. इसके लिए इतना काफ़ी है. तुम इतने में खुश रहो बेटे, तुम्हारी यही औकात है. And of course with girls, so that was happening every day. So that though I've still not been able to do anything about. But jokes apart. So then I said, the only way this will change now is if I in my head change something. If I in my head say, I'm not going to believe in this औकात business. I'm going to try to be the best I can be. I'm going to try to cross this औकात thing. And I'm going to do. So at that time, the only opportunity of crossing औकात for me was to prepare for an IIT exam. 15, 16, you're living in Delhi, what else will you do? So I tried And I didn't really tell people much. Nobody was expecting me to get in or even knew much that I'm preparing for it. But I did it for myself. I said, abhi yahi mauka hai. Ye kar le, and then maybe things will be different. And they were different after that. Of course, once I cleared it, then suddenly people said, हाँ मुझे तो पहले ही पता था. इसमें कुछ तो है. एक बार इसने मेरे maths बड़ा अच्छे से किया था. Whatever it is. And then once I got there, then of course life's journey took me in different directions, and this is where I am today. I have been in many fields, and a lot of people ask me, आपने कैसे किया? आप कोई बड़े genius हो क्या? अब आपने मुझसे आधा घंटा देख लिया, ऐसे कोई genius वाली मेरे में कोई बात दिख नहीं रही आपको. I know, नहीं है. दो तरह के लोगों को स्टेज पे बुलाया जाता है. एक geniuses को बुलाते हैं कि भाई देखो ऐसे कमाल के लोग होते हैं, और एक नमूनों को बुलाते हैं कि इसका हो गया कुछ तो तुम्हारा भी कुछ हो जाएगा. So we all motivate in our own ways. So I'm in the second category. Okay. So if you're a genius, you don't need to listen to this talk. You will be successful anyway. आप आके अभी बैठ जाओ सोफे पे, it's fine, right? But if you're not, which like most of the population is not, does it mean that we cannot dream of being successful? Does it mean that we cannot cross Aukat? That is not the case. Most times people who are very successful are not geniuses actually. Some people are, right? Like a Rahman is, or a Sachin is. But those are freaks of nature. You cannot be that, right? That's ability is so high. But what about the other freaks of nature like me, who also want to do well? So I use a different way to go towards success, and that is all what I'll share with you a little bit. Of course, I can't go into super details, but broadly, why have I been able to do, say, engineering or banking or books or films or television? How does it happen in so many different ways? So that's what I think will be interesting. What I do today is different writers write for different reasons. Some write to win Booker Prizes, some write for something else. For me, I write for one very specific reason. I write for change. I think that for me, that makes me wake up in the morning, that makes me do whatever work I'm doing, is change my country. You can change in many ways. You can join politics, which I thought about, but I don't think it's for me. You have to lie too much, and it's just very dirty. And I find that a lot of politicians also can't do anything. हम कैसे करें, ये नहीं हो पाएगा, they're too lost. Or you can be an activist, which you can be, but then you have to go on hunger strikes, which is very difficult for me, especially with so many snacks coming all the time in front of me. Or you can do it another way, which is what I try to do, is to use my reach to create change. It's a two-step process I follow. The first step is to entertain people. So you are familiar with my books and movies, and maybe that is what made you come to this hall. Those love stories, those songs, or those whatever films you saw, the books you liked, were reading. So you wanted to come and see ki kaun hai ye. But today I'm not talking to you about love stories. I'm talking other stuff. So that way I get a chance to influence you, to change you. But even on national issues, I'm able to do it because people are more likely to read my newspaper columns. Why? Because ये वही है, वो 3 Idiots वाला या 2 States वाला. So they read it. So that's the strategy I use. This is why I do whatever I do. Sometimes it may feel ये चेतन कुछ भी करता है यार, कहीं भी करे जा रहा है. But it actually there is a strategy behind it, and that kind of defines almost everything I do. These are my books so far. Most of you are familiar with it, so I don't have to go into detail. A new one is coming this year, so hopefully we'll add that. These are the movies so far that have come on my books. First 4, Hello, 3 Idiots, Kai Puche, 2 States are on my books, and Kick is actually a separate script I wrote, and most of them have done well. And those 2 are the reasons how I entertain people. And once I started doing that, I said now is the time has come to now use my reach to create change in society. So I write a lot of columns in these are very big newspapers. They're like, Times of India is the biggest English newspaper in the world, actually. Even though it's in English and in India, the number of copies wise biggest in the world. I also started writing for Hindi papers, and because of the reach of this, it reaches a lot of people. And once you do this, you get invited to horror shows like this. Do not watch this. Do not watch this alone at night. You'll get very scary dreams. Really. They make you fight. You can see my face, how scared I'm looking there. And then the aim is to do this, to grow reach. Once the reach is grown, then, just try to use it to educate people, try to inform people, try to give opinions on national issues, stuff like that. I also did this. How many of you saw it? Wow, man, you guys. A lot of people questioned me on doing this. कि क्या कर रहे हो सर? ये क्या हो रहा है? Huh? And I must tell you, they do 1 hour of makeup before. So I'm looking like my own son there. And I must tell you, the same makeup is done on other people, and that is why they look the way they look. Huh? Otherwise, in real life, it's okay. Chalta hai. Now people ask me, what is the author? You are an intellectual, educated guy, and how can you do this? क्यों अपनी image खराब कर रहे हो? मुझे पता नहीं था मेरी image भी है. But it was again strategy. ये चाय वाला भी देखता है program, नच बलिए, पान वाला भी देखता है. And once they see this and next day they see the Hindi paper and they see my column, अरे ये तो वही नच बलिए वाला है. क्या कह रहा है बजट के बारे में जरा पढ़े. And then they read my comments about the economy or whatever issue I'm talking about. That was the method. It reaches crores and crores of people, and now a lot of times I meet people who otherwise would not have recognized me, literally like a pan wala. Sir, आप तो नच बली वाले हो. I say I write books also. हाँ वो ठीक है, पर हमने आपको नच बली में देखा. So and then they read whatever I have to say, they know about me and stuff like that. The other thing, of course, people said आप डांस कर रहे हो सर, आप IIT से हो, आप IIM से, क्या हो रहा है? I'm like, don't surgeons dance at their own wedding? डॉक्टर अपनी शादी पे डांस नहीं करते होंगे? So I thought little bit our intellectuals take themselves too seriously. Intellectual, So they have to be always intellectual, as if you have to be serious to be taken seriously. But that's not how it works in life. You have to be sincere. Don't be serious. You have to be sincere about your work. And if you are saying something sensible, people will listen. But if you say something just because I'm very serious and now we must do this, and people will actually sleep only. This was a bit too much. I don't like to move on that slide for a long time, but just showing the limits I go for reach. And I do talks like this all over the world. And while I was doing my journey, this came along. Social media wasn't there when my first book came out. And now, a lot of writers don't want to be on it because I write books. I'm not tweeting. What is this Twitter nonsense? What is this Facebook like and all that? Right? People are rigid about that. But for me, it's gold mine. For me, this is how many of you have liked my page? Some of you here. See, I never met you. In fact, I'm not doing a great job with that page right now because I'm busy writing a book. But I will improve the content on that page. But you can see in every college room in the country, some people are already. So if I want to give my thoughts to you guys, I can do it very quickly. Much faster than a newspaper. You may miss the newspaper, but you will not miss your Facebook, I know. Right? So it's books, films, columns, television, social media. And that is why you've heard of me more than any other writer. Right? There's so many books in crossword, why have you heard of me more? In fact, if you ask literature experts, they will say Chetan is not the best writer. Chetan is best-selling writer. And I'm okay to be best-selling. This is what God gave me, and this is what I can do. And the goal I have is to reach maximum people. So the best-selling is very important. Best anyway, who decides, I don't know. Right? This was my journey. But I also want to tell you how all these different fields work done. Nach baliye, doing television for example is so different from mechanical engineering at IIT. Even though we did dance in parties in IIT, it was very different. What is different is television is very different medium. It may look like it's all silliness happening. But in that show, you pretty much, your face is over there and there is no script. So you have to make sure you're interesting, you have good content, you have to do makeup, you have to come on stage, it's very different. Similarly, writing columns is very different from writing movies, of course. Writing kick versus writing a budget analysis, two different things, right? So how, for each field, I approach it like a beginner and feel ki kaise karna hai. And in this, I want to introduce another concept, which is short effort goals versus long effort goals. And this is again something to do with the way human beings are. Keep track of time. Yeah. Short effort goals, let's say I tell you to clean up your room. अपना कमरा साफ करो. वो कितना टाइम लगेगा? 2 घंटे, 3 घंटे, maybe a little more for the boys. Keep them extra dirty. If I tell you to make a meal and you don't want to make it, but फिर भी बना ले, तो you will tell yourself चल बना ले यार, and 2-3 घंटे में हो जाएगा. क्योंकि बाजार से सब्जी लानी है, 2 hours में you will go and get it. These are also goals, and you have achieved your goals. And this we do on a daily basis. This is how human beings live on a daily basis. But कभी आपने सुना किसी को कहते हुए कि यार ये बाजार से टमाटर ले आया, बड़ा सक्सेसफुल आदमी है. Many people here said, na, achieving your goals is success. The goal is to get sabzi today. You say, yaar, bada successful aadmi hai, to tomato le aaya aaj. You don't say, aapne kamra saaf kar liya, to you're successful man. You have finished your tasks for the day, you have done your goals. But, and why you don't say it is, कि वो छोटी मेहनत का काम है, which I call in English short effort goals, right? Small effort, but just chota and lamba. Just in Hindi it sounds almost better. This we do every day. And the thing about short effort goals is, of course, even though it's not counted as a success in life, if you don't want to do it, you can motivate yourself by doing what they call धक्का लगा सकते हो. चल कर ले यार, अब कर भी ले. And this we are all used to this. We all know this very well. कुछ काम आपको अगर मन है तो वो तो आप कर ही लोगे, पर आपका मन नहीं है तो धक्का मार के कर लोगे. The problem is some things in life are not like this. But this is the only motivation method we know. So let's say I say, I don't know, मुझे MBA की तैयारी करनी है, CAT की तैयारी करनी है, मैं परसों तक कर लूँगा पूरी. Is it possible? If I say I have to write a new book, I will start today, I will finish in 3 days. Possible? No. If I say I have to lose weight, I have to lose 5 kilos, कल तक हो जाएगा. It's not possible, right? It's just not possible. These things take long time. So I'm preparing for an exam, I'm preparing for this CAT exam. And then you say कि अभी बहुत हो गया यार, अभी I've been distracted too much, कल से रोज 15 घंटे पढ़ना है. You tell yourself. And then what happens? You study 15 hours one day, next day you study 10 hours, third day you study 5 hours, and fourth day you say मुझे करना ही नहीं है यार MBA. मुझे तो करना ही नहीं, I don't even want this thing, right? What happens is your brain plays games with you. You are trying the short effort method and it's not working. Take another example of, you go on a fitness or diet, right? आज से डाइटिंग चालू बस, कल से सुबह जॉगिंग जा रहा हूँ मैं, एंड यू ईट, आज से बस सिर्फ सैलड खाएंगे, बस यू स्टार्ट सैलड 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 सैलड, रात को डिनर हुआ, भूख लग गई, पार्टी हो गई, तो अरे आपने गुलाब जामुन ट्राई करा, ट्राई तो कर लो. इंडिया के लोग आधी कैलोरीज तो ट्राई करके खा लेते हैं, ये ट्राई तो करो आप, ये बड़ा फेमस है यहाँ का, हर चीज़ फेमस है, हर खाने की डिश हर जगह फेमस है, तो अभी so then it's very difficult. So what's happening there is that you are using a wrong method of motivation for something that requires another way of looking at it. And ये जो लंबी मेहनत के काम होते हैं, इन्हें लोग कहते हैं इम्पॉसिबल काम है, ये नहीं हो सकता. ये लंबी मेहनत के काम वो है जो आप कर लेते हो तो लोग कहते हैं अरे यार इसने कुछ करा है लाइफ में. If you, let's say, transform your body, or you clear a big exam, or land a good job, or top your class, then people do say, he's successful, he achieved this. And invariably उसके पीछे एक लंबी मेहनत लगी होती है. But लंबी मेहनत छोटी मेहनत की तरह motivation आप नहीं कर सकते. So things that seem impossible to you today are actually big achievements. Those are the big achievements. But those big achievements, how do you actually get to them? What you can do is you have to do a long period of effort. So they are long effort goals. So firstly, start looking at everything as a long effort goal. Not कि ये करना है. If I have to write a new book, okay, I want to write this book. That means a long effort goal has been formed in my life. I have to lose weight. Long effort for 6 months has to be done. So it's not nothing like impossible या कैसे होगा ये वो. You have to say कि it will take me a lot of effort. Now how do you plan for this effort, right? How do you do it? You can't do the dhakka maar style. You have to do it in a different way. Examples of big things I give here: writing a book, training for marathon, losing weight, de-addiction, climbing Everest, entrance exam. They're all same. Preparation for exam is same as climbing Everest mentally. The skills required are different, but mentally it's the same game you have to play. You know, if I tell you to run a marathon today, you can't do it. You can't run 42 kilometers. You can run to the bus stop, but not marathon. But human beings only do it. How do they do it? They do it by training. They put in a long period of effort, and then on the final race they can do it like that. I use something called 6-step method. You can take a picture, you can note it down, or whatever if you want. It's not like I'm going to give you a lot of gyan today, but some things I do want to share with you. And that's this: setting a clear goal, reasons behind that goal, finding that group, detailed action plan, setback dealing mechanism, and faith. So I'll tell you very quickly what they are. So supposing I say मुझे पतले होना है, okay? Is that a goal? Say. Or I have to top my class. Goal? It's not a goal. It's a dream. मुझे नई बुक लिखनी है. Dream. What's the difference you are saying? Same तो है. कब पतले होना है आपको? आज होना है, 10 साल बाद होना है. कितना पतला होना है आपको? 10 kilos lose करना है या 50 ग्राम lose करना है? We don't know, because there are dreams in our heads, and we have tons of dreams in our head. मुझे अमीर होना है. कितना अमीर होना है आपको? कब तक कितना अमीर होना है? How much salary you want by what age? We have something. When you become specific, then it becomes a goal. So be very specific. In which year you want to clear that exam? In which semester you want to top your class? How many months do you have for it? That's important. So make sure any goal you have in life, it has to be very specific. Let's say I have to write my next book. I can sit around for 4 years and keep going to people and say, yeah, I have to write my next book. But if I say I have to release my book by Diwali this year, which is what I said a year back, then I can plan backwards and say, okay, release by this, finish by this, printing by this, editing by this, etc. I can keep going back. That's what it is. Reasons for the goal. Why do you want this? मम्मी ने कहा है, पापा कह रहे हैं, आजकल सारे यही कर रहे हैं, और लाइफ में करूं भी क्या, मेरे फ्रेंड्स भी यही कर रहे हैं. These are all stupid reasons. Because it's such a long effort involved, your mind will start playing games. And if the reason is not very strong why you want that goal, you will never achieve it. So make sure the reason is very, very clear in your head. Finding the group. You can do it better if you have friends who also want to make it. If you are serious about studies, but your friends are busy on Facebook all the time, you'll find it very difficult. If your friends want to be fit and eat healthy, or your family wants to eat healthy, then it's easier to eat healthy. If you are on a diet, eating salads and घर पे पकौड़े तल रहे हैं, very difficult that it will last. So make sure that group is very important, especially for you guys, because you are in a college setting, you have a lot of groups right now. Make sure you choose your groups right now, because it can have an influence of where you will end up. Detailed action plan. This is where the big effort is broken down into small effort. So if you have to prepare for 50 chapters and you have 4 months, you can say I have 12-13 chapters a month. You can say I have 3 chapters a week. You can say I have 2 days for every chapter. You can say today I have to do half a chapter. And then you break it down to a level कि आज आधा chapter ही करना है. आज आधा chapter करना है, उसके बाद मस्ती भी हो सकती है. पर वो आधा chapter करना है. अरे यार मन नहीं है, चल कर लेना यार. There the short effort works, because you have broken the long effort into a lot of little short effort. And even if you miss a day, you can get back the next day and do it. Which comes to the next thing, the setback dealing mechanism. Whatever plan you do, whatever big goal you give yourself, you will face setbacks. You will face problems, and it will not be easy. Mostly, what do people do? Let's say you are on a diet. After 5 days, you break the diet. हो गया कुछ, कहीं चले गए, function हो गया, party, you start eating a lot. And then you say, ये डाइटिंग वाइटिंग मेरे बस की नहीं है, मैं छोड़ रहा हूँ. अब खा लेते हैं यार, कोई बात नहीं. You start studying for a few days and then you get distracted and it's like, अरे यार अब नहीं होगा मुझसे, I can't do this. I can't be a studious student. Right? So that happens. You know what's that equivalent of? It's like आप सड़क पे चल रहे हो और आप कीचड़ में गिर गए. और अगर आप कीचड़ में गिर गए, क्या आप अपने आप को उठ जाते हो या ये कहते हो चलो मैं गिर ही गया हूं तो थोड़ा और लोट लेता हूं? But that's what we often do in life. We are on a path, we are trying to do something, some गड़बड़ happens and we just say अब गड़बड़ हो गई, अब सब खराब हो गया. But it is the same as falling in कीचड़. What do you need to do? You need to get up, do like this and move on. But we don't do it. We say अब गिर ही गया तो अब लेटे रहते हैं यार, चलो थोड़ा और गंदे हो जाते हैं. And that's what we should never do in life, because it's long effort. गड़बड़ तो होगी ही, you know. If I give myself 1 day, 1 page target, 300 days I'll do a book, for example. And there will be some days नहीं हो पाएगा, you know, I'm just too lazy, something happened. I don't have to give up. If I give up, then बस हो गया फिर. I have to get back at it and do it. And faith, you know, it gets very anxious. Whenever you are doing something long term, बीच में बहुत doubts आते हैं mind में. होगा कि नहीं होगा? I'll have doubts. I'm writing a book. I'm writing as a girl this time, for example. It's a very different and tough thing to do for a guy. Because you not only have to write the girls' dialogues, you have to write what's on the girl's mind. Now girls themselves don't know what's on their mind. A guy has to write it. So it's difficult, right? Jokes apart. Sometimes ये book चलेगी या नहीं चलेगी. I don't know. How will I know? I will know on the release. I cannot know apparently. How do I deal with the anxiety? By that faith. अरे नहीं यार, I like it, I'm putting my hard work, होगा कुछ तो होगा. You have to have that faith in whatever preparation you're doing and everything. Because without that faith, your mind will get very scared and give up. It's long effort, it's not short effort. So keep these things in mind and then go towards a goal you set for yourself, a goal that is a little bit beyond your path, and learn to master that. Once you do it once, then you can give yourself more goals and keep going. Passion, often people talk about, because that is what we take to achieve this whole thing. Passion is what a lot of people keep asking, kya hai passion? Passion, we know it. Passion is actually a feeling, it's an emotion. Like you feel angry, sad, things like that. Passion is that. But it's the only feeling which drives you towards a goal. In fact, that's what it is, a very strong feeling towards achieving a goal. That's what passion is. So if you are passionate, then you have a motivational speaker inside you. Because I want this, and something inside you, an emotional thing happens, and you really want it. And that's what passion is. Passionate people have a more happy life. They're more fulfilled, they're better quality of work, more innovation, and if you have all this, better quality, more innovation, happiness, you will have more success, obviously. People ask me success tips. I'm no guru, but I feel these things help me in life. Under promise and over deliver. A lot of people overpromise and underdeliver, whether it's politicians or movies. The trailer is better than the movie often. My attempt is the opposite. Whatever people expect from my next book, and I know the expectations keep on rising with every book, they'll get a little more than it. Whatever trailer you see of my movie, the movie will have a little more than the trailer. So that when people get in the trailer, "Arey yaar, it used to be better than trailer se," and they'll tell 20 other people. So under promise, over deliver. Always in life, it's better. Reinvent yourself. In my today world is changing very fast, and you have to be okay to reinvent yourself. I've tried to reinvent, as you saw, different lines of work. They've happened because I know what people liked 3 years ago about me or my work will not work today. Something fresh has to keep happening, and that's the reinvention. Passion shows. People can tell whether you, your company, your brand, whatever you are, is passionate or not. And then customers or audience or readers, whatever it is, can tell. Patience. Nothing happens fast. We live, unfortunately, in times where websites load and apps load quickly. So we want life to also happen quickly. बस मैं कुछ बन जाऊं जल्दी से. You know, I want to be very rich very fast. I want to be very successful quickly. Unfortunately, होता नहीं है. People, if you ask, they'll say Chetan is on fast track. His career has suddenly happened. This suddenly part, my first book came 12 years ago. I had started writing it 2-3 years before that. This sudden success is 15 years old. You know, that people say that I've had sudden success. It's 15 years of struggle, which continues. It's my passion, so the struggle doesn't seem like so much of a struggle, but I do work hard every day to make sure things keep happening, more movies keep coming, more books keep coming, and it doesn't stop. So it will take 10-15 years to get somewhere in life, once you decide, at a minimum. So that requires patience. Partnerships with people, ultimately how you relate to people really helps. You know, that is apart from your knowledge, skill, genius, creativity. You must know how to work with people well. And humility. You know, success is great, but you can have another session on how to manage success. Because handling success is not easy, and that's almost a separate session. But very quickly, when arrogance comes in, which often comes due to success, it's the speed breaker. Because then the growth stops. Success doesn't grow more. But if you keep humility, like a perfume of humility, if you have it, then funnily enough, the success keeps growing also. The moment you say, "Arey, itna success aa gaya, I am so great," it stops. The moment you say, "No, it's okay, chal raha hai," it keeps blossoming. It's very funny, but that's the kind of beast success is, that you need that humility to handle it, right? Ma'am gave that quote of mine, which is my last slide, which is what I try to believe in, that we love to gossip about others and this and usne ye kar diya, wo kar diya, but agar hum apne andar jhanke, there's so many things we can change about ourselves. We know we need to change about ourselves. We know hमें ये better करना अपने बारे में, but we don't. So try to make yourself busy doing that. Be so busy improving yourself that you don't have time to criticize others. That's where I'll end my formal lecture. Thank you so much for listening to me. We have a little bit of time for some questions. So if anybody has any question on anything, they can just raise your hand. We'll try the mics again. Okay.
Hi sir, good afternoon. Rajendra Kumar, I'm a faculty at Architecture College here. Although I wanted to ask the question about Nach Baniye, but part of the questions you already answered. But you know, in every profession, whether it be a writer or architect or designer and all, with the work what we professionals does, there is an image in the society.
Yeah.
I mean, already. I mean, for example, Imran Hashmi has another image, or I mean, you have. So we have this image. Oh, everyone knows. Everyone. You know better than me. When we talk about Chetan Bhagat, we have this impression that he's a very intellectual, very sound. I mean,
is it?
Okay, I mean, at least I have, because my story is very, I mean, scene to scene is very related with your two state. I'm also
scene to scene.
Scene to scene, exactly.
Yeah.
My wife is a Gujarati. So everything is scene I mean, you answered yourself because you wanted to be everywhere. You wanted to be seen everywhere. I mean, this is what, I mean, there are many professionals, Bollywood and all, they wanted to be seen anywhere. I mean, by a good thing or by bad thing, whatever it is. So, I mean, your image of intellectual professionals, do you think that you have done something wrong with this Nach Baliye thing? Because Nach Baliye, I mean, it's so good, I mean, you wanted to be there and all those things, but your conversation with Priti Jinta and Marji, it was something, it was too much. No, I saw it. So, do you have any regret? There is another way of being. I mean, jokes apart, but I'm really very concerned about this, about your image.
Thank you.
Do you think that it was too much?
Was it too much? It was called Nach too much also. But I'll tell you, it is the exact discussion that happened in my house. What you are mentioning is, I have a very strange brand in that way. Because the goal is to entertain. You think of me, front rows are thinking of me as intellectual. The kids there want fun from me. You want fun more or intellectual more? Fun. They want fun. Of course, they don't want me to do Nach Bali, that means. They want stories, they want movies. The reason I have, most intellectuals, the so-called intellectuals, do not connect with the youth so much. Why? Because they don't have that fun element, they are not real. The problem I have is, the moment I start having fun, the intellectuals say, "Arey, dekho kaisa hai ye." The moment I start doing something too intellectual, people fill on my Facebook, "Chetan, please stop doing this politics. Please stop writing of politics. Can we talk about stories? Can you please help me? I can't get my girlfriend," etc. And this is a constant tussle for me. And I'll tell you how the decision was finally made. Do you know that the people who watch Times Now, versus people, which is the intellectual crowd, right? Like you guys. I think another planet just tuned in. Okay. And people who watch Nach Baliye is this big, very big. It's like the sun. And people who watch Time Now is tiny. I'll give you an example of probably 40 times more people. 40 times bigger is Nach Baliye versus this. Okay? Very few people watch both, like you. And these are the people who बेचारे फंस गए. Because you feel bad for me. ये क्या कर रहा है? But if you make a Venn diagram of Nach Baliye and the intellectual editorial reading Times Now crowd, the overlap is very small. That was the collateral damage. वो damage है. उन लोगों के दिमाग घूम गया होगा, अरे यार हम चेतन को इंटेलेक्चुअल बताते रहे अपने दोस्तों को और ये क्या कर दिया. But that 40 times जो मुझे मिला, I don't know how else to get. I would have loved to do a KBC, for example. But I'm not as popular as Amitabh Bachchan and they will not give me that. This was a good one. I was not a participant. I'm not doing a Big Boss as a participant. I'm not doing Nach Baliye as a dancer. I was a judge. And the show's focus was relationships. So my job was not to be the dance judge so much, but Nach Baliye is real couples. So my job was to test, because the channel had got the brief that these couples are fake. So my job was to go in there, and that was the job, to grill. So I said, "Mila job to अच्छे से करेंगे." So, but it is a tough one. But I'm not doing the next season. I'm not doing it. No. It was एक injection लगाना था बस. It is not a career for me. I don't want to be a reality show judge. But I wanted to be in people's homes. That kind of advertising would have cost me some, I don't know how much. And I can't show an ad that look at me, I'm Chetan, right? And there was really no other way to do it. It has that show, I tell you, the show came. It has now, even if I go to the toilet at the airport, the guy who cleans the toilet says, "Sir, ek selfie ki jale aapke saath." What I'm saying is that would not have happened without Nach Baliye. Even, and if I go to London, I landed, the immigration lady who stamps my passport, she was Indian origin. "You're the Nach Baliye guy." The same thing, they put posters of Nach Baliye in UK and all that. So the reach was important to me. Now the damage that has happened, that has to be undone. So वो मैं कर रहा हूँ by not doing another one, But there's no because करता जब वो उसका कोई point नहीं है. एक बार लोगों को पता लग गया कौन है, now I want them, if they want me, they have to consume my writings. They're not going to see my judging anymore. If you miss Chetan, get to read his writings, books, movies, all that's fine. So yeah, and by doing more intellectual writings, by doing more things, I will slowly undo them. एक दिन आप भूल जाएंगे कि इसने किया था. But वो लोगों की, yeah, but these are the choices I face. It's a good question. That's it. Yeah. Yes, Professor. Yeah, you only. Huh. In general terms.
Mr. Bhagat, I'd like to ask you that, keeping in mind your expertise, do you believe that modern day writers, contemporary writers, target only a segment of the demography, and from that segment only a particular section is attracted? I mean, the kind of writings nowadays, it doesn't attract all the masses.
Yeah, it's not very different from any other thing like a television or even movies, like different writers do different things. There is no one, there's fiction, non-fiction, and it is not a bad idea sometimes to write for children, for example, right? You're writing a children's book, you're writing a children's book.
Because I have grown up reading Alistair MacLean. And
yeah, so those kind of things. So there are some writers who are global and very famous. For me also today, almost all ages are reading my books. People say that the youth reads more, but actually the data is that everybody reads. Right? Of course, young people read more books in general. So my books are more read there in general because they have more time. But it's become very broad for me. But for a new writer starting out, why it's not a bad idea to try to get some readership, because rather than compete with something which is so big and he may get unnoticed or she may get unnoticed, they try to find. So let's say you write a book about mothers, for example, and maybe mothers will be attracted to it or something, or so it's not, yeah, it is happening more now and it's become more sophisticated. The publishing industry knows what works and what, it is a business. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, it is a business. We'll give others a chance. Huh? Yeah. Chances are?
Can I ask?
Yeah.
It seems to me in your 15 years career, you have done a lot of planning, there's a strategy behind it. And I'm curious to know that has going to IIM Ahmedabad helped you to achieve that much faster, or have you been able to do it even without it?
Hard to say whether MBA taught me this. I used to be good at marketing in IIM also, and I people have told me that you're very good at marketing, so I believe it now. Chalo. But in IIM, I was better than marketing. That was the one subject. I was like, my grades were here, and the entire IIM was here. All other subjects I was okay, but that one was always there in me. It's always been there in me. Maybe it helped me a little bit, like to, of course it helps us to a certain extent. But a lot of the things that I've done, they are so different. Like, how do you build a social media strategy for a writer? How do you decide these decisions of whether what television to do or not, to do columns or not? Not much can be taught from IIM. Maybe at the marketing aspect of it, maybe a little bit. But a lot of it has been very unique situations which can't really be taught in a classroom. So, yeah. One last question maybe we'll do. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, it was a wonderful talk. I just would like to ask you, your two articles were very famous. One, when you saw the stress level in Indian women was very high and you said, you'll be happy and give that back to your mother-in-law that day. And second,
one day you'll also be mother-in-law.
Second one was about working women better than, you got a lot of hatred and got open letter and everything.
Yeah.
So what is it that motivates you to write about women?
I like women. I mean, who doesn't? But if you notice, but seriously, I write about issues that affect a lot of people, and women is not the only column. I mean, these are the two famous columns, yes, and people forward them on WhatsApp and all that. But I have written about issues about people. See, what do I have? What is my? I don't have any post. I am not an authority. I have a voice, and I have a loudspeaker which is there, reaching to a big part of the country. What can I do best with it? I think I can do best, of course, entertain and make that reach bigger. Chalo, wo to chalta rahega. But what do I do with it then? What do I do with this reach? Just make money or do something else? And that something else is people who don't have a voice, give them a voice, basically. Whether it was students in 5 Point Someone or Revolution 2020, whether it's people who get judged on English, that was half girlfriend. Whether it's primary education in rural villages, which was again half girlfriend. These things, people didn't know that, you know, villages have schools where there are no toilets, so people don't send girls to those schools. People didn't know to that extent, but in Half Girlfriend, if you've read it, you'll get it, and now with the movie, you'll see it even more, because you'll actually see the village and how the schools are. And same I felt for women. You know, my mother was a working woman, my wife was a working woman, she isn't now, but she was. And I've been around working women, and I feel they are unfairly judged in our society. I feel they're just judged. They can never be good enough. And in fact, I felt so strongly about it that I wanted to write a book as a woman, which is what I finally had the courage to do. I wanted to do it in the last 5 years. But now I've done it, in fact. And again, the same thing, that they don't have a voice. So it doesn't mean only women can raise women's issues. It can be anybody can raise. So I'm trying to do my bit for that. And I'm very happy that women liked it, so it has encouraged me to do more. So yeah.